Hey guys, thanks for joining me here again today at Kaylee's Corner. So glad to have you. I had a couple more encouraging words that I wanted to go ahead and share with you, and I felt like this one's kind of a fun, kind of a different take on it. It was also very personal to me, but I felt like I wanted to go ahead and share it with you guys. Pray that it brings you some encouragement, maybe some more revelation, honestly just some things to kind of think about, even for you to take back to God and ask him more questions about in your own life. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and share with you, since this has been my own personal journey. I'm not just here talking to you guys out of nothing. I have been walking these things out as well, and really feel like God has been meeting me right where I needed him to meet me, and giving me the revelation I needed, and really just speaking to my heart where I needed to hear it, and just pulling me close and reminding me who I am and who he is in this whole process. So the awesome revelation that I feel like I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys is when God was speaking to me about how he's been working on me, and how he has been carving me and really chiseling away at creating me to be who he really created me to be. And I felt like what he was saying to me was, keep your options open. Don't chisel yourself completely away. Because I think what sometimes can happen is we really start working on ourselves and our, exploring who we are on our inside, and really just diving deep into who we are, and, why we are wired how we are. And I think I was getting to the point where I was doing too much deep inner work, and just, like he was saying, don't chisel yourself away. And so I feel like that's kind of the encouragement that I wanted to share with you guys, is to not chisel yourself away completely. Keep who you are open, and allow God to really sculpt who you are, and to kind of give him like that canvas to be able to work with, and to have a beautiful creation. And so really what he, the word chisel was what caught my attention. Is I've heard used like a potter and clay, or a canvas and painting, or all these different kind of artistic terms, but really what he was speaking to me was chiseling. And so I grew up in South Dakota, Black Hills of South Dakota, beautiful, amazing place to grow up. And so what did God do, and what did he do to show me on like a personal level on how this would make sense, is he used Mount Rushmore. And growing up where I did, we took field trip to Mount Rushmore every year, pretty much for like all of elementary years, even in middle school too. So if you haven't been to Mount Rushmore, I at least would recommend you looking up a picture of it, or making a quick trip up to South Dakota. It's great. It's beautiful. I absolutely love where I grew up. It's amazingly beautiful. Anyways, though, to not get too far off track, what Mount Rushmore is all of the four presidents carved into what we would call like a hillside, mountainside. I now live in Colorado. Mountains in South Dakota are not the mountains in Colorado. But anyways, it's a hillside made out of rock. And really what they had done is they, had taken this beautiful hillside that had natural rock and kind of the formation that they liked. And Borglum had this great idea that, let's go ahead and chisel away at this rock side to create the perfect, profile of each one of the presidents, so that they could honor it. Like it's a big sculpture to honor the presidents that they have on Mount Rushmore. And so it was so interesting, God brought that vision like right back to my mind as he was talking about chiseling away and creating me and creating each one of his kids. Is like I could just picture the exact same thing that that artist did. Borglum was his name, for Mount Rushmore, and what he did, and just picturing all of the information that I knew of, and how they would scale down the side of the hill, and they had their ropes and their harnesses and everything, and they would take their hammer and their nail and they would just chisel away like a tiny little bit at a time, and then a little bit more and a little bit more, and all of these different men would chisel away at this big nothing of a rock until they could start to see the outline of each one of the president's heads. And it was just, it made so much sense to me that that's what God does with us. That's what he's doing in our life and in our heart. And especially in my heart, you know, having, you know, gone through life and allowing my heart to get hard, I definitely feel like I did have to have God kind of chisel away at my heart for a moment to get back to really who he has created me to be. And just to imagine, you know, that Mount Rushmore is so beautiful and it is so unique and it is so creative, and it was so cool to see how God was able to, you know, to remind me of what something that I had seen personally, you know, and is a part of my life, you know, growing up where I did, but also being reminded that that work, that the creation altogether called Mount Rushmore, with all of the president's heads carved into the rock, it is the work of Borglum. It is his artistic style. It is very unique to him and how he, yeah, just his style. I can't think of another word that's more fitting other than it was very him. It was who he was as an artist, and that was what came out in his creation. And I feel like that's what God was reminding me of, is like, yes, we do need to be chiseled down and chiseled away and to be sculpted and created into these beautiful creations that he has for us, and these amazing masterpieces. But also, he doesn't want to chisel it away to the point that there's absolutely nothing of us left, or to chisel it away to the point that you can't recognize who our artist is, who in our situation would be God, our Heavenly Father, and to be able to see his artwork, to see his style flow through each one of us, and how we were created, and you know, not even just our appearance, but our heart, our beliefs, our understandings, and who we are on the inside, what we give away, what our passions are, what our talents are, what our gifts are, what makes us want to get out of bed in the morning. You know, that is God's style, his art style in us. And he doesn't want to chisel that away. He doesn't want that to go away. He wants to chisel down the hurt. He wants to chisel away the pain. He wants to chisel away all of those defenses and those protectors and those guardians that we have allowed to come around us, especially our heart, but into our life, and to push people away, or to not go after those opportunities, or to not really be who we really are created to be. He wants to chisel those things away, kind of like Mount Rushmore. They did it in phases after phases after phases. It wasn't just all overnight, all of a sudden all of these presidents' faces were carved into the mountain or into the rock. It was phases after phases after phases of, you know, first they would do the outline and you could see their nose, you could see their eyebrows, you could see their underline of their eyes and where their cheekbones are, and then you could see their neck, you could see their shoulders. Some of them, it's only their face, so you could see their jawline, you could see where their hairline was. And each one is so specific to the president that they were creating out of the rock that they had to be able to pinpoint each specific detail of the face of that president for us from, you know, a couple miles away, to be able to identify, oh, that's George Washington. You know, what is the distance between his eyes? What is the distance of his nose? What is the distance of his lips? What is the distance of his cheekbones? How long was his hair? What made him distinguished to who he was? Not just his, you know, of course this is a physical trait in this example, but I really feel like that's what God is doing, is he chisels away until we get back into alignment with who we actually are. What are those distinguishing features? What makes you you? What makes me me? Why am I different than you? Why am I different than my siblings? Why am I different than my family members? Why are you different than your family members? Why are we different than everyone else? What are those things that distinguish you? What are the things that distinguish me? He doesn't want to chisel those things away. He doesn't want us to just knock those things off the part where, oh man, that's just another face up on the mountainside. No, he wants it to be very distinguishable. Like, that is George Washington. Look at the way his hair is. Look at how his eyes are shaped. Look at how his lips are set. Look at his nose. He wants everyone else to be able to see that in us and be able to see that in you, that yes, you are a daughter of the Most High, you are a son of the Most High, and that you have these perfect gifts, these perfect talents, these amazing passions. You are created in His image. You are created by Him. And that is going to naturally flow through you. Those are going to naturally be a part of His creation. If He is the artist and you are the masterpiece, you are going to naturally have all of those pieces within you. And so as life happens to us, unfortunately, we don't always live our life. Life happens to us. Then we start to build on those things that are never really meant to be there. We add here, we add there. Oh, we were hurt. I need this protector. Oh, I got hurt here. I need this protector. Some of them are subconscious. Some of them are conscious decisions, but they start to define who we are. They start to make us look different. We sound different. We act different based off of everything that we were creating for ourselves. We weren't created with those things. We were putting them on ourselves. And so I feel like really what this vision and the heart behind this is, it is good to receive healing. It is good to go back and work on ourselves and to get rid of those things that are no longer needed. Yes, they served you. They kept you alive for the portion of your life that you needed those things, and they kept you alive. They got you here, and we are so grateful for them, but they are no longer needed. They are now harming you. They are harming me. They are no longer being able to be used by God. And so I feel like, yes, those are the things that He wants to chisel away at. He wants to chisel away our protector. He wants to chisel away those fears, those anxieties, those things that we have created to create distance between us and people, or to create distance in us and the world, or whatever it is. He wants to chisel away on those things, just like they did on Mount Rushmore. Grab his hammer and nail and just chisel away a little bit at a time. I can promise you it's going to be a little bit at a time. And next thing you know, here's the whole profile of George Washington up on this hillside. And you can tell who he is. You know who he is. You can identify him. His distinguishing features are present again. And guess what? That is the work of Borglum, but you are the work of God. And so the world around you gets to begin to see who you are, who you were always created to be, and who God always knew you to be. He just got you back to that place where now the world gets to experience it. And I am so excited for more people to get back to that place where they get to share their true person, their true identity, and that we are not walking around letting the world around us impact us or letting life happen to us, but we are living our life. We are creating our life, and we are taking ownership back over our life. We are empowered. We are no longer powerless. We are empowered. And I feel like there's so much here, and I could probably go on and on about this because this is the journey that I've been on. But really, to know that God does want to do some work on you if that is where you are at in your journey of wanting to work on yourself and receive some healing and to really transform some negative beliefs that are no longer suited for you. He wants to chisel away at those, and He wants to get you back to who you were always created to be. But He doesn't want you to keep going to the point that He takes away who you are. He doesn't want to take away who you are. He doesn't want you to take away from who you are either. He wants you to find that beautiful balance of working on yourself but still loving yourself and letting the world experience that. Because now I look at Mount Rushmore and most people don't even really know where I am from, and so the closest landmark I can give them is Mount Rushmore. And you'd be surprised, there's a good amount of people that at least know Mount Rushmore, where it is or what it is. And so I feel like that speaks to the grand scale that Borglum was able to create for people literally all around the world to now recognize and know Mount Rushmore because of it. And I think that's really what God wants for you too. He wants people all around the world to recognize you for you. I mean, maybe you are an amazing artist and that is your talent and no one else paints like you, or maybe you are a writer and no one else writes like you, or maybe you have a passion for helping kids and no one else can help kids like you can. Maybe you have a passion for being married and no one else can love your spouse like you can. Maybe you want to start a business. No one else can run a business or share your ideas and your passions like you can. No one else in the world is more you than you. I'm pretty sure that's some sort of Dr. Seuss quote. But anyways, I really do feel like Don't chisel away who you are. Don't chisel away what makes you you. Let those features and those details stand out, just like Mount Rushmore does, and allow God to chisel away on the background, on the parts that are no longer needed. Let him chisel away on those, because if you look at Mount Rushmore, I'm not all artsy, but I know there's like the forefront and then the background. And if you look at how Mount Rushmore is created, each one of the faces actually comes out of the rock. They have built the rock, chiseled the rock away behind them so that the face is what stands out. Each one of those features stands out from the rock. So if you look at it from the side, it's not just a flat profile. You actually get to see his nose, you get to see his lips, you get to see his eyes, you get to see his hair. Everything is set back behind those features. And so let those distinguishing features of what makes you you stand out in the forefront. Allow those things to come to the forefront, and let God chisel away everything else behind you that lets you be in the forefront. Let those things be more in the background, and to let the world get to experience the amazingness that you are. Because I think Mount Rushmore is pretty cool, but I think you're even more cool. And I know God would agree with me. So anyway, before I keep rambling, I pray that this is encouraging to you, and I pray that really it would meet you wherever you are at on your own journey, your own healing journey, your own transformation journey, your own awakening journey, your own heart journey, wherever you are, whatever you are experiencing, all of the questions or concerns that you have, that's okay. God will meet you right where you are, and I pray that he would meet you right where you are, and he would just love you through it. It is not a hard chisel. It is like a love chisel. And he will help you through it. He will walk you through it. And you won't even know that on the other side that this creation has been created. I mean, I don't even think people knew that what Mount Rushmore was 100 years ago would be what it still is today. So God wants to have a lasting impact in your life, and he wants you to have a lasting impact on this earth and in other people's lives. And so let him do what he can only do best in your life. And I pray that this would encourage you just to, allow God in, and to not be so hard on yourself, and to just go with the journey and at the pace that he sets for you, or that you can set for yourself. And you're not all broken. Not all of you needs to go away. Just let the things that are no longer needed fade to the background, and let the things that are amazing to who you are come to the forefront. I pray that this blesses you. I pray that it would draw you closer to Jesus, and just bring you some encouragement and some revelation. And until I see you again next time, I pray you have a blessed rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.